And then news out of Ukraine. Unfortunately, the Ukrainian Air Force has announced that they lost another F-16. First class pilot, Lieutenant Colonel Maksym Ustymenko, born in 1993.
Wow.
Wow, Lieutenant Colonel from 93.
I know.
Was killed in action flying F-16, did everything he could to steer the aircraft away from the populated area. He didn't have time to eject. Our deepest condolences to his family. What does he stand in?
MiG-29, right?
Yeah, so I was going to say, so he used to be a MiG-29 pilot, which I'm assuming a lot of the Viper conversion folks. They said that he was downed during Russian drone attack. So he had taken out some drones, and then one of the things I saw mentioned something about FOD, like he might have hit, like, flown through the blast pattern of what he was shooting down.
Yeah,
but they're not going to admit if it is a shoot down by a Russian jet. They've never confirmed or denied that, if that's possible, or if that's what happened, or if it was FOD or whatever. So we don't necessarily know. What do you think, man?
Yeah, so I guess Russia launched like a 400 drone strike,
huge attack,
500 drone strike, and F-16s were part of the defense. And kind of like you're alluding, I mean, we don't like to speculate, but he had shot down a couple of drones, and the idea of FODing yourself. I mean, what if you're down to just the gun mover, right? And it's a slow moving drone, and you're trying to gun it. I mean, I could totally see, you press the target. That's always a real thing with when you're using the gun. If you press the target. So I mean, that's all plausible. I even saw some stuff where it got shot down, which I don't know. Like I said, when it comes to, sorry, go ahead.
That's what the Ukrainian article had said, was that it had, he was defending the country and had damage during the intercept, is all it says, which that usually implies 537 targets, cruise ballistic and hypersonic missiles, as well as the Shahed type drones. God, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a massive offensive
3 hours, while the drone attack was 10 hours. God, I can't even imagine, man.
Yeah,
flying for that long. But it's the third Ukrainian F-16 pilot to die in combat. Remember Juice?
Yep, he was the first, right?
No, first was Moonfish.
Okay.
Juice was killed training for it.
That's right.
In a trainer.
That's right.
But he was going to the F-16, and Moonfish was the first. Pavlo Ivanov was killed during a combat mission in April 2025. So August of 24, April of 25, constant risk of full-scale invasion with no sign of letting up. But it doesn't say. It says it was damaged and he crashed and couldn't eject. And usually when you say something was damaged, I mean, what could damage it, right? FOD from what you just shot down, or you got shot down. I mean, that's kind of your two options.
A projectile, some sort of projectile.
Yeah.
From the outside.
I mean, that's
wow. I don't know, man. I know we keep saying it. I mean, people are dying, and it's frustrating, that we just can't get an end in sight to this. Because I mean, dude, 93. I mean, he's a young
32. He's 32.
Yeah, I mean,
as a lieutenant colonel.
Yeah, compared to I mean, he's a young guy. I mean,
that's usually like a major.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, they're in a war. People are dying. I mean, promotions are happening. I mean, right? World War II, there were 24-year-old majors.
I'm saying like under normal circumstances, normal progression, that would be about a major.
Yes.
I mean, these dudes are getting a ton of experience, like a ton of real world experience. This is not, I think also one of the things that may be something to think about is, when I went from the Viper to the Hornet, or Hornet to the T-38, right? And you probably saw this going from the Hornet to T-38. Your sense of scale changes. When you're flying a big jet trying to intercept, like I remember when I was in the F-16, the Hornet guys would come out and we'd BFM, and like I'd see him immediately. Like I'm like, all right, Tally. He's like, where are you? I'm like, 5 miles or whatever. Because to me, with my little 33-foot wingspan, everything was a big jet. And I think, guys that spent their whole careers flying MiG-29s and stuff, they get this sight picture, and that could be a factor too. And like you were talking about, you're chasing a very small drone, and now you've transitioned to an F-16, and you were very experienced looking at this sight picture. You knew how your aircraft performed. You go to a something different, and now everything you're used to seeing, your mill sizing, all that stuff is different. Closure rates, how far am I estimating distances and stuff, it changes because it's what you get used to.
I mean, for sure, that's a factor. I mean, in Malaysia, they had MiG-29s, and in there, we work with those guys. I go in the briefing room, and their instrumentation's different, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how pilots of MiG-29s are fed knowledge or flight parameters is different than the F-16. East versus west. Sight picture, you're right, man. Different size airplanes. I mean, when I fought the Su-30, we set up for a beam set. I'm a half a mile to a mile off because it's a big airplane. I'm trying to make it look like a Hornet, right? Yeah. When we fought first time you fight the F-5, they tell you don't make the F-5 look like a Hornet, right? Because all these, these are little things, but there's a lot of little things, and they add up. And especially like you're saying, Mover, these guys aren't in training, man. They're in actual combat, and I'm sure even the best pilot, you're test saturated, man. And all
there's there's no debrief to come back and go, hey, how did it's just, did I die? No, great job, next.
Correct. Well, we're fueling your airplane, we're putting more weapons on it, you're going back out. But there's it doesn't take much to really get the train off the tracks. And I'm not saying he was like behind the airplane or something like that, but I can't imagine going from a MiG-29 to an F-16 during wartime, and then having to, no kidding, most of your experience, like I'm sure you look in their logbook, they're like, dude, like 95% of your flight time is combat time in this airplane, right? So it's wild.
Well, and dude, think about the stress you're under. Right. It's not just, we flew in combat, okay, I may not have a place to go home. Like my wife and kids may not exist if I do this wrong. Like there's a lot of external stress because you are defending your homeland. They are attacking you. Like that is a totally different world that like it's very hard to, as an American, to even understand, because thankfully we haven't lived it. And respect to them, respect to those guys doing that.
Yeah. Well, nickel on the grass for him, man. Absolutely. You always, hey, get shot down. Did he eject? Good. That's good. But I mean, it's always sad to hear, when they didn't get out.